While it's still the middle of the summer, the Hebrew month of Elul begins just next weekend, ushering in the season of Teshuvah, of repentance, in anticipation of the high holy days that are just around the corner. Rabbi Abraham Isaac HaKohen Kook, one of the great creative rabbinic minds of the 20th century, teaches us that Teshuvah, repentance, is more than simply trying to rectify the mistakes of the past. Instead, it's really about reorienting our lives right here in the present. Rabbi Kook taught that Teshuvah is about cultivating the wisdom and the understanding that come from self-knowledge and self-awareness. The word Teshuvah comes from the Hebrew word lashuv, to return. And Rabbi Kook explains that through intense self-examination and inner reflection, we actually return to ourselves, to a deeper, richer appreciation of who we truly are, what our impact is in the world. And once we get there, then surely we'll know what we need to do next. Teshuvah then reminds us that the way things are is not necessarily the way that they've always been, that who we are is not necessarily who we've always been. It's that powerful awareness that keeps us from becoming complacent, that keeps us from settling into a routine, from coasting through life. In this morning's Torah portion, Parashat Ekev, Moses instructs the Israelites to always remember that the land of Israel was not originally theirs, that they did not innately deserve to live there any more than the people who were already living there, and that the Israelites only came to possess that land by displacing those nations, by taking the land from them through violent conquest. Now, Moses' point was to keep the Israelites from self-righteousness, from the feeling that their possession of the land of Israel was proof of their own worthiness for it. In fact, it turns out there will always be another people with a competing claim. Moses never implies that the Israelites should apologize to the Canaanites, or even that the Israelites owed anything to them at all. You can read this morning's Torah portion backwards and forwards and not find a single reference to a plan for reparations that would be owed to dispossessed or displaced Canaanite families. But perhaps Moses wanted the Israelites to always remember that original war of conquest and look back just a little bit uneasily, to be just unsure of themselves enough to break that sense of complacency and of entitlement, that sense of teshuvah, that sense of knowing where they came from. In the same vein, the controversy raging in America today around the teaching of history in schools. In the year 2021, it's not about litigating what was done long before any of us were born, or even the things that were done before our families even came to this country. Instead, the point is to more fully flesh out the past in order to make sense of the present. And if it makes us uneasy, well, then that only means we're taking the first step towards the national teshuvah necessary to lead us towards a national consciousness that more truly reflects us all. The essayist Lewis Hyde noted in a recent book, A Primer for Forgetting, Getting Past the Past, that refusing to move past the past can literally rip a country apart. He notes the 19th century French scholar Ernest Renan, who wrote that the essence of a nation is that all of its individuals have many things in common, and also that everyone has forgotten many things. Certainly there are those in America today who wish that more things remain forgotten. But Moses' admonition to the Israelites teaches us not to forget the past, but also not to dwell upon it. Hopefully, and this is really what Teshuvah is all about, we live our own lives in ways that redeem the past. Shabbat Shalom.